Hello everyone, these are the Vivobarefoot Tracker Decon Low FG2 shoes. I've been wearing these shoes for the last 6 months, mainly for walking and lifting weights, and today we're going to take a look at these shoes, the pros and the cons, and whether they're worth your money. Let's start by doing a quick overview of the shoe. Vivobarefoot shoes are quite expensive, and the reason why I chose this particular model is because I thought it would be more durable in the long run. You can see as I flip this shoe around that it has extra stitching around the sole of the shoe. The sole is also quite thick, with a good grip, and that'll make it suitable for a number of different terrains. These shoes also have a wider toe box, and that just gives a little bit more room for your toes to move around. The shoe has a breathable mesh, which means these shoes can be worn when it gets a little bit warmer, but that also means your feet are going to get wet when it rains. These shoes have a higher tongue, and that's designed to keep small stones and other little bits from going into your shoe as you're using it out and about. When I first got these shoes, the higher tongue and the heel of the shoe was a bit more restrictive, but over time that loosened up and the shoe became more comfortable. I've seen other people mention that the heel of these shoes can rub. I've always worn socks, so it's never been a problem for me personally. One of the pros of these shoes is the durability. I'm just going to pull out the insole of the shoe just to show you what it looks like after 6 months of using these shoes. You can see that the insole has really worn away towards the heel of the shoe and also towards the front of the shoe. But that is to be expected with 6 months of use. As the insole's flaked away, I've just removed bits from my shoe from time to time. If we look inside the shoe without the insole in, you can see it's remained very much intact. Next, if we flip the shoe over and look at the sole of the sole has worn away towards the heel and also towards the front of the shoe. I'm just going to point out some parts in particular where it's worn away. I'm usually walking 15,000 steps or over a day in these shoes, so overall the durability of this sole has been very good. Let's take a look at the other shoe. If we flip this shoe over to take a look at the bottom, the sole has just worn down over the past 6 months. As I said before, I've been doing a lot of walking in these shoes, and that has worn down the sole of the shoe around the heel area and towards the front of the shoe. Another aspect I like about these shoes is the sole is slightly thicker than some of the other Vivobarefoot models, and that means if you stand on something like a small stone, you're going to notice it less. If we look at the side of the sole, you also have a slightly different kind of grip. I'm just going to untie one of the shoes now to give you an idea of the length of the laces. The laces are a decent length, not too long, not too short. With the shoe already having a high tongue, the shoe is going to fit your foot very well. These laces just allow you to tighten up the top of the shoe a little bit more. I'm just going to pull the insole out this other shoe so we can get a closer look at it. This insole too has taken a bit of a battering. I've been wearing these shoes so much out and about that the insole's just flaked away over time. I've always worn these shoes with the insole in, but if you want to, you can remove the insole and that'll bring you a bit closer to the ground. If we take a peek inside the shoe without the insole in, you can see the Vivobarefoot logo. Next, I'm going to put on these shoes so you can see a bit more clearly how they sit on my feet. You can now see that high tongue that I mentioned before with the shoes sitting a little higher. I'm just going to demonstrate how flexible these shoes are by pushing my toes into the ground and bending the upper part of the shoe. As you can see, your foot can move freely, which is quite a nice change to other shoes. You can now see this flexible high tongue as it sits on my foot. At first this feels a little bit different, but over time this only becomes more comfortable. Finally, I just want to summarize my thoughts on these shoes after wearing them for 6 months. Overall, I thought they were a good shoe. The pros I have listed: a strong sole with good grip, good thickness and extra stitching. This improves the durability of the shoe. The higher tongue keeps small bits of stones from going into the shoe as you're using it. The breathability of the shoe is good thanks to the mesh upper, and the shoes only become more comfortable over time. The cons I have listed are the high price, the restricted upper of the shoe at first, and these shoes aren't very waterproof, so your feet are going to get wet when it rains. Thank you for watching, and I hope this video was useful.